Okay, so here we are, May 20th with my Topstep dashboard. So right now I got 24%, I got 24 completed trading days with 88% winning days at 68% success as far as my average over all the tickers that I trade. But this number is not great. I like it to be above 70-75%. I got a really rough start in the account. So this has had to grow its way back up. And then, of course, I had a couple rough days last week, which brought this back down a little bit. But that will slowly continue to grow. And, you know, so when I first, when I got into my live account, I almost blew half my account, right? And Mick on Topstep TV was talking about it, how I, you know, almost blew my account, all this stuff. And then he also talked about it again last week, how I have grown this account back, and now I'm way green in the account. So, and then in that Topstep TV episode, he recommended that I take a payout. So right now my account is $11,164, and I'm going to go ahead and do that and take a payout. So when I first started this Topstep journey back in October of 2023, my goal was to get to the live account and take a payout. That was the mission of this this content that I'm creating under the battle for freedom. So, and I said to myself, once I get to that point and I take that payout, then this this series is done, right? This mission is accomplished. And my purpose of my YouTube channel is to try out different trading things, and that's it. You know, move on to the next thing, try out the new thing, move on to the next thing. And my goal was to try out the prop firm space and see what that was all about. So I thought once I got to that live account and took that payout that I would be done, and that's it. But in this process, I've learned a few things, and I have a few unanswered questions that I would like. And I can contact Topstep and ask them, but it's something I want to do, and as part of this whole process of showing other traders, like, hey, maybe here's some things that we can look at. So the first thing is, can I add money to my live account? If my live account is starting to get into a bad place and I don't want to risk trading it because I don't want to take a chance on blowing it up because it's going to be a lot harder to get it back, can I add money to it? And I believe the answer is yes. So in the only way to do it though would be to go through a combine, get to the express funded account, trade it well, and then have them transfer that money into the live account. So it seems like that's what you can do based on what I've heard on Topstep TV. So that's one thing. The second thing is, I've asked myself, what would I do differently if I did this over again? So that answer to that is I would have started with a 50K combine. And the reason for it is it's a lot cheaper per month. So if I'm 5 months in trying to get to a live account, like basically I was, then that's a lot cheaper per month. The second thing is the risk parameters. Having that max loss of $1,000 a day, once your account grows healthy enough, that's pretty good protection for your account. That automatic max loss for the day. The last piece to that puzzle is the goal is not to make a lot of money in a combine, and the goal is not to make a lot of money in an express funded account. The goal is to get to a live account. And once I get to a live account, it doesn't matter if my account's a 50K account, because I can trade as many contracts as I want with as big as max loss as I want, as long as I can prove to the Topstep team that it's worthy of those modifications to my account. If I want to have a max loss of $5,000 and I went to them and say, hey, here's my track record, here's my trading plan, here's what I'm doing, here's my strategy. I can't scale up anymore until my max loss is increased. Then they'll review it, and if they agree, they can increase my max loss. So just because I start in a 50K account doesn't mean I'm forever confined to 3 contracts or 5 contracts or max loss of $1,000 a day and so forth. I have to be a good trader, and as a result, I can open that stuff up. And one thing I like to say is, if you can't make money with a little bit of money, you're probably not going to make it with a lot of bit of money. So 50K combine, I think, is what I would start with. The reason why I started with 150K is I thought I was confined to these parameters forever. So that meant once I got to the live account and I slowly scaled my account, eventually I would be maxed out at what the parameters were based on the account I started with. So a 50K account, once my account's got 50 grand in it, I want to be able to scale up. I'm going to need bigger max loss limit. I'm going to need, bigger contract ability and things like that. Larger sizing. And I didn't think you could negotiate a new setup. So that's why I chose a 150 account. So if I did it again, I'd start with the 50K account. I do really like Topstep. The next thing I was thinking about doing was, once I got a payout in the live account, was switching over to a new prop firm. But Topstep's awesome. Like, I really like them. I've looked into the other prop firms to figure out which one I was going to go to next, and I don't want to switch to another one. I don't think any of the other ones are actually that good. So I'm going to stay with Topstep. So what's going to happen next? So the last question I had for myself was, for a lot of years, I've always traded using indicators. I have 3 monitors and all this stuff. And when I travel, it does make trading a little more difficult and travel a little more difficult. So could I just trade with 1 monitor, no indicators, just off the charts, go back to the very basics of trading from like the beginning of time, if you will, and just trade with those simple principles of trading and be successful? Could I do that? So this is what I'm going to do now. So I made my goal. I got my payout. I'm over $10,000 was the next piece. I didn't want to take a payout in the live account, so I was over $10,000. That's one reason why that was going to be a big hurdle for me, I thought, but I was able to get right through it, so that worked out nice. So I've made my goals. I've done everything I wanted to do, so I'm going to start the new thing. I'm going to start a 50K combine, and in that 50K combine, I'm going to go ahead and, 50K combine, and I'm going to trade just off the very, very basics. No technical indicators, none of that stuff. 1 monitor, and see if I can be successful with that and scale up that account. See how fast I can grow it. Be very aggressive, and see if I can, even with a max loss of $1,000 a day, see if that account can bring me $2,000 to $3,000 a day. Because if I can bring in $3,000 a day with a 50K account and a max loss of $1,000, then I have basically a 2-to-1 risk reward on a daily limit. So that would be epic, right? And not having to need any of that other stuff. So that's the goal. That's going to be the goal. So starting now, I'm going to do that. Now, what's going to happen with the live account? I'm going to trade the live account still. Not that often. I'm going to focus on this 50K. When really good setups come, I'll trade that live account. I'll grow it slowly and just kind of like milk it along. And then I'll give you updates maybe weekly or every 2 weeks. Unless you all want to see the live account more often, let me know in the comments below. And then maybe I can do something more often. I just didn't want to focus on it. And I'd rather trade less frequently. And here's one of the things about that. When you're trading to make content on YouTube, one thing I saw on Topstep TV is all of them seem to have combines, not combines, but express funded accounts and combines that they trade in. And one of the reasons are sometimes the market's just not great for a particular strategy. Like if you have a strategy that favors short positions and the market is, on an uptrend, taking shorts in that market's going to be dangerous for your account. So you want to sit there and wait till the market conditions become favorable for you. The market moves in 3 ways. It moves up, down, and it moves sideways. What I find is most strategies require one of those directions to be in play. It's really hard for a strategy to be solid in all 3 ways. My particular strategy that I've been using works in a market going up and it works in a market going down. I can make a lot more money in a market going down than a market going up. And a sideways market chops me up and I get destroyed. And I feel like most strategies are that way. So for me, the best thing I can do with my live account is wait until the market is moving in my favor. It's fitting my strategy perfectly and then take those trades. So now if I do that, I may only take a few trades. There may only be a few days a week that I can trade. Some weeks I'll trade every day. Other weeks I might trade once or twice. That's not good for making content because then I'm not making enough content. Then YouTube stops showing you my videos. They stop showing up in the feeds. Not good for the channel, all that stuff. So in order to trade every day in my live account, I have to put my account at risk every day rather than waiting for the right market conditions to take the right setups. So that's kind of the risk when you're trying to be a creator on YouTube and trade every day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my live account to just trading it once in a while when market conditions are ideal, continue to grow it, and then I'll bring that to you like on a weekly basis. And then on the daily side of things, I'm going to trade just based off of straight up charts, which if I do that, it doesn't matter if the market's going up, down, or sideways. I can have trade setups that are equally good in all those directions because they're not relying on technical indicators that are favoring particular market conditions, which is how I like to trade because my brain likes to see that kind of stuff on the charts. I don't have to, if I trade based on the charts alone, I feel like I have to watch them a lot more and have to like concentrate more and focus on what's happening more. Whereas when I trade on indicators, you can kind of look over and be like, oh, like VWAP. It's really far away from VWAP. I don't have to pay attention to it for a while. And you kind of glance over. Oh, it's almost there. It doesn't really take much brain power to see that line and see where the candlesticks are in comparison to it. But when there's nothing on the chart, you kind of got to look at it a little more closely because you don't want to find yourself getting into confirmation bias and subjective viewpoints, which is the dangerous part about trading off the charts by itself. So it takes a little more focus. It takes a little more time and a lot more patience. But that's what I want to try to do with this new series. If I blow it up, I blow it up. But that's going to be the goal. So I will bring you in the next video, because this one's already getting long. In the next video, I'm going to bring you what the strategy and the plan is for that. And then we'll get into trading that new series, if you will. I'm just going to leave it as the same series title, but I'm going to do it differently, and that will start the next trade video. All right, everybody. See you on the next video.